Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Pyare bachcho, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. Alhamdulillah. So today we are going to study a geography lesson. And this lesson will not be a new topic for you as we have already studied some parts of it in our grade 4 and grade 5. Let's have a quick look at this picture. What do you think this is? Yeah, is it a sky only? Is it just a night sky? Well, it's outer space, or simply we call it space. We can see the sky with innumerable shining objects, not just one, there are many shining objects. There are many objects in the space, among which some are visible to us, while we cannot see some of the objects. In this chapter, we will study various celestial bodies. Now, what do you mean by celestial bodies? Let's have a look at those in this chapter. Right, sun. Sun is also a star. So all the stars, planets, moons, asteroids, these are all celestial bodies. Now, in this chapter, we will describe the various components of the solar system. We will understand the features of planets, satellites, stars, and other celestial bodies. We will distinguish between natural and human-made satellites. Let's get started. So, our universe is believed to have come into existence due to a gigantic explosion called the Big Bang. Yes, it is believed, it is understood by many people, which led to the formation of giant clouds made of gases and dust called nebula. So, people believe, the scientists, because we don't have concrete knowledge and understanding how this whole universe came into existence. So, the scientists, the astronauts, various departments, they have reasons to believe that this whole universe, it is not possible to come suddenly. No, there has to be some supernatural power behind it, and that power made a big bang, and that is how the whole universe came into existence. And these are some of the gas clouds, and it's called as nebula. The glowing bodies, such as stars, they were born out of the nebula. From these clouds of gases, many stars have come out. The sun, it's also a star. It was born about 4.6 billion years ago. Billion years ago. The sun, moon, and all other objects that shine in the sky at night, they are called as celestial bodies. Now you'll ask me, how can planets shine at night sky? Well, not all the planets shine, and they don't have their own light. They don't have their own heat. That is why they are not stars. Right? Right. Then the celestial bodies that produce their own heat and light are called stars, as I told you earlier. Millions of stars together make a galaxy, and then the universe comprises several million galaxies. Now, it is an important thing to understand. I will talk to you in detail in the later part of this chapter, but for understanding, we have our solar system. It is a part of our galaxy, and then our galaxy is a part of the universe. We'll talk about it in a moment. The universe can be defined as all the existing matter and space, including the solar system, stars, and galaxies. Our galaxy, where we belong, the galaxy to which our solar system belongs, is called the Milky Way, or in Hindi we call it as Akash Ganga. Now, this is our galaxy, the Milky Way, and the nearest galaxy to this Earth's galaxy is the spiral shaped Andromeda galaxy. So, this is another galaxy, and we live in Akash Ganga or the Milky Way. These two galaxies, now, how far are they from each other? They are 2.5 million light years away from the Earth. So far apart. In my previous lecture, I asked you what a light year is. We'll talk about it as well in a moment. Right, so we are here. Let us say this is our Earth. It's a planet. Our planet is a part of this solar system. Then our solar system again is a part of our galaxy, that is the Milky Way. And then this galaxy is a part of the whole universe. Like this. Earth is a part of solar system. Solar system has interstellar neighborhood, like we have different neighborhoods. They are part of our galaxy. You can see this solar system is a small, very tiny object in the whole galaxy. Come on. This Earth is so huge. Subhanallah. And that huge Earth is a part of a very big solar system. That very big solar system, when you look at it in the whole galaxy, becomes a very small object in the whole galaxy. So just imagine how small we are as people, as individuals, when compared to the whole galaxy, when compared to the solar system, to the Earth. Then why so much arrogance? Why such ego in our hearts? We are very small kids, so we should not have any arrogance in our hearts, in ourselves. The whole Earth, the solar system, galaxy, universe, they are far bigger than us. There are many things bigger and stronger than us. So we as people, we as individuals, we should be humble. We should have respect for others. Coming back to the galaxy, then galaxy forms a galactic group, then a Virgo supercluster, then local superclusters, and then we form the universe. Subhanallah, such a beautiful description, such a beautiful formation. Just imagine how well planned this whole universe is. And who planned this universe is definitely great. Allahu Akbar. Right, another explanation. We live here in this. This is the whole picture of a Milky Way, and we are here as Earth. And come on, where do we fit in? Now, what do you see? What are these patterns called? Yes, in our previous topic, we discussed that these are constellations. And constellations have different designs, different shapes. For example, this one, Ursa Major, it looks like a great bear. Then we have Orion, and then we have different shapes and designs. We'll have a look at it right now. This is Ursa Major. So, stars and constellations. If you look at night sky, You can see clusters of stars. These groups of stars are called as constellations. Then these astronomers, they have joined the stars in constellations by imaginary lines. If you look up in the sky, you will not see any line. They're all imaginary. But when you draw lines with that, we can see different shapes. One such constellation is Ursa Major or Great Bear, which can be easily recognized in the sky. In India, we call it Saptarishi, seven sages. Why? Because there are seven stars in this constellation and they form a spatial shape of a spoon. The two stars at the end of this constellation are called pointers. They always point towards the north. The brightest star in the sky is the pole star. Have a look at this. Here we have the pole star, and um, it is almost above, it appears to remain in the same position in the sky, and all other stars and constellation revolve around it. Now, this North Star is almost directly above the North Pole. Almost all the time, it is above the North Pole. That means if you see that star in that direction, you have to go to north. Ursa Major, then Orion, Canis Major, and Hydra. Hydra looks like a shape of a snake, you see, are some other well-known constellations. What do you think this Orion looks like? To me, it looks like a warrior with a shield in hand and a sword. Ugh. Canis Major is very simple to understand. Then this Hydra.
Constellations, patterns in the sky. That's the North Star. And here you can see the 7 stars. I am sure this is Regulus, one of the brightest stars in the sky. These could be the typical dialogues of stargazers when on a vacation away from the city. Want to become a successful stargazer? Come along on a sky tour. Look up at the amazing night sky. Watch the stars for a while. Can you visualize a bear, a scorpion, a hunter, and many more such patterns emerging? These patterns are totally imaginary things that poets, farmers, and astronomers have made up over the past 6,000 years, or probably even more. These star patterns are known as constellations. A constellation is a group of stars that make an imaginary shape in the night sky. The stars in the sky are divided into 88 constellations. Within a constellation, one might see a prominent star pattern, and this star pattern is known as asterism. At a time, you can spot only a few constellations. Constellations which you see vary depending upon the time of the year, time of observation, and your position on the Earth.
Now, what do you think? What is this on your screen now? Yes, it's our solar family, the Sun family. The Latin word sol means sun. Thus, solar means which belong to the sun. The solar family consists of the sun as the head of the family with 8 planets. 8 planets and their satellites, asteroids, meteoroids, and comets, all of which revolve around the sun. Let us find out more about them. The sun. Definitely, this is the center of our solar system and is also its largest member. When we talk about our solar system, the sun is the largest member. It has huge mass, which gives it a powerful source of gravity. That's why many planes or many objects, when you try to go to the sun, it attracts them. This is why the planets orbit around the sun. The planets, they don't leave their orbit, they don't leave their imaginary path. Their path is fixed. They do not move an inch from their orbit, because moving away with about an inch will mean that the whole planetary system will collapse. Subhanallah. The sun is made up of intensely hot burning gases, mainly hydrogen and helium, and has a surface temperature of about 6,000 degrees Celsius. 6,000. Huh? To melt iron, we need 1500 degrees Celsius. Iron, how strong high iron is. It is one of the strongest metals on earth. And to melt it, we need 1500 degrees. So just imagine 6,000 degrees Celsius. It's just the surface of the sun. How hot would it be inside? Allahu Akbar. It is the vital source of heat and light energy required by all forms of life on the earth. We need light. We need heat on the earth to survive. And how far is it from earth? The sun is about 150 million kilometers away from the earth. It takes about 8 minutes for the light from the sun to reach the earth. 8 minutes. The word planet is derived from a Greek word that means wanderer. Like they are wandering. The planets are also named because they revolve around the sun. They wander around the sun, but they just don't wander in any direction. They have a fixed path. That path is called orbit. And no planet leaves its orbit. There are 8 planets in the solar system. You see, Mercury, in this order from the distance from the sun: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. These are inner planets. And then we have outer planets: Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. And we studied in the previous class, my very eager mom, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, my very eager mom, just served us 9 pizzas. Just Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Pizzas, well, it's a dwarf planet, Pluto. The planets do not have their own heat, they do not have their own light. They reflect the light received from the sun. See, reflection. That's why they are called celestial bodies. All the planets are spherical. These are some distinctive features. Now, let us have a view on these features. Number 1, Venus. Venus is the brightest object in the sky after the sun and the moon. Like sun is the brightest, then you have the brightness of our moon, and then there is Venus. It is also called the morning star when it is seen in the sky before sunrise, and the evening star when it is seen in the sky after sunset. See, subhanallah. Because it also has good light. It reflects beautiful light passed from the sun, and it reflects it back. Now, NASA and some Russian agencies are working on finding life on Venus. Earlier, they were working on finding life on the moon and then on Mars, and now they are focusing on Venus. Let us see how they will succeed, inshallah. Then Mars has a reddish appearance and is referred to as the red planet. Then we have Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune. They all have rings around them. And these rings, they are rings of asteroid belt around Saturn. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, they are known as inner planets as they are made up of rocks. They are called as terrestrial planets. But Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, they are called as outer planets, and we also call them gaseous planets because gas giants, as they are made up of gases with very small rocky core. So the core is very small. Majorly, we have gases around them. The solar system has five officially recognized dwarf planets. They are Ceres, Makemake, Pluto, Eris, and Haumea. Now, what are dwarf planets? Dwarf planets are celestial bodies with the mass that is neither that of a planet nor that of a satellite. So, they are not a planet, they are not a satellite, so something in between. They are dwarf planets. These are some of the dwarf planets around. Pluto, Haumea, Makemake, Eris, these are our dwarf planets. And here we have Ceres, just after Mars. Okay. And here we have an asteroid belt. So this dwarf planet is nearly in the same asteroid belt. Now, this is tricky, okay? You need to focus here. Planets and their distance from the sun. Gosh. Venus, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. All right. Mercury is located 58 million kilometers away from the sun, and it takes 88 days to revolve around the sun and has no satellites. While Venus, this Venus, is located 108 million kilometers away from the sun. It takes 225 days to revolve around the sun, and it also has no satellite. While our Earth, it is 150 kilometers away, 50 million kilometers away from the sun. And how much time does it take to revolve around the sun? You know it, 365 days and 6 hours. So those 6 hours are said to be quarter day. One day divided into 4 parts, quarter day. And of course, we have a satellite. The natural satellite of Earth is called the Moon. Mars is located 226 million kilometers away from the Sun. So, which planet is closer to the Sun? Is it Earth or the Mars? Well, Mars is farther than the Earth from the Sun. You will tell me the difference between Earth and Mars. How much will be the difference if Earth is 150 million kilometers away and Mars is 226 million kilometers away from the Sun? So what is the distance between Earth and Mars? How much time does it take for Mars to orbit around the Sun? Yes, it takes 1.9 years. 1.9 Earth years to revolve around the Sun, and it has a couple of satellites. Jupiter is located 772 million kilometers away from the Sun, and it takes 11.9 years, Allahu Akbar, to complete one revolution. And it has 62 satellites. I'll tell you the name of one of the satellites of Jupiter later in this lesson. Keep your attention. Saturn. Saturn is located 1,418 million kilometers from the Sun. Wow. It takes 29 years for the Saturn to revolve around the Sun. To complete one revolution, 29 years. And it has around 62 satellites. Which other planet has 62 satellites? Just before the Saturn, we studied it. Uranus is about 2,817 million kilometers away from the Sun. And it takes 84 years to complete one revolution around the Sun, and it has 27 satellites. Neptune, yes, 4,469 million kilometers away. This is the coolest planet. It is very, very cold out there in Neptune, and it is approximately 4,500 million kilometers away from the Sun, and it takes 164 years, 164.8 years to revolve around Sun, and it has 13 satellites. So if you start revolving around the Sun on Neptune, I don't think you'll be able to complete one revolution complete. No. Now we have our Earth. Our Earth is the fifth largest planet and the third nearest to the Sun. It is spherical in shape, slightly flattened at the poles and bulged at the equator. This shape is described as a geoid and spherical oblate. It is oblated and spherical in shape. These are the conditions which make it favorable for us to live on the Earth, to have life possible on the Earth. Number one, moderate temperature, not very hot, not very cold. This temperature is favorable for plants and animal life. Then suitable atmosphere. The Earth is surrounded by the atmosphere, which consists of gases such as nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and ozone, all of which are necessary for plant and animal life. You see, we say that we need oxygen to survive, but if you take only pure oxygen, if in this air there is only pure oxygen, can you survive that? Can plants survive only the oxygen? I don't think so. You better ask your science teacher now. Ask them if we can survive if the whole atmosphere has only oxygen. How much percentage of oxygen do we have in the atmosphere? 21%. 21%. And rest 79% is composed of different gases. Can you survive in 100% oxygen atmosphere? Think over it. Then presence of water. You know, we need water. Water is very important for us to survive. The atmospheric conditions on the Earth support the existence of water in its liquid form. Due to this, it is available continuously for all living beings. We need water, guys. That's why it's important for us to conserve water. Don't waste water. Now, try to define these terms in your own words. What are stars? What are constellations? What are galaxies? Terrestrial planet and dwarf planet.
The solar system. The solar system is made up of the Sun and its family. The Sun. The Sun is a huge ball of fire and hot gases. It is a star. It has its own heat and light. Its family. The Sun's family consists of celestial objects like dust, gas, moons, comets, asteroids, and planets. The planets revolve around the Sun. There are 8 planets in the solar system. These are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The first 4 planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, are nearest to the Sun. They are small and rocky planets. They form the inner solar system. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun. It is also the smallest among the 8 planets. It has no moons. Venus is the second closest planet to the Sun. It looks like a star when seen from the Earth, shining brightly just before sunrise and at sunset. Therefore, it is also called as the morning star and evening star. Like Mercury, it has that supports life. It has a moon. The moon does not have light of its own. It shines because it reflects the light planet that supports life. It has a moon. The moon does not have light of its own.
Now we have satellites. We know that moon is our satellite. Other than the stars and the planets, you can also see the moon in the night sky. This satellite, what we see, is called an artificial satellite. But the moon, is the satellite of the Earth. The word satellite is derived from the Latin word that is satellis, and it means a companion or an attendant who attends to you. Satellites are small celestial bodies that revolve around the planets. As the planets revolve around the Sun, their satellites also accompany them in their revolution. Like planets, satellites also do not have any heat and light of their own. They reflect the light taken from the Sun. Now, what is this? Does it look like moon to you? Nah, it is not moon. It is the moon of Jupiter, that is Ganymede. Ganymede, Jupiter's moon, is the biggest satellite in the solar system. Now, this is your activity that you should do. Take strong stick, on that attach some strings or rings, and then attach thermocol balls or different balls to look like a solar system model. You should try making one of these at your home. Then we have the Earth satellite as the moon. The Earth has only one satellite, the moon. The diameter of the moon is about 1/4 of the diameter of the Earth. Like our moon has the diameter as 1/4. If it is 1 kilometer, this is 1/4, 250 meters. Why does the moon then appear as big as the sun? Why does it appear at night when we have a look at the night sky? The moon looks like the same size of the sun. Well, that is because it is closer to us than the sun, which is located at a distance of about 384,400 kilometers. How far is the sun from the Earth? 150 million kilometers. How far is the moon from the Earth? 384,400 kilometers away from the Earth. The moon has no light of its own, we know that. What we see as moonlight is actually the sun's light reflected by the moon. This light reaches us in about 1.25 seconds. How much time does it take for light to reach us from the sun? Yes, 8 minutes. 8 planets, you can remember like that. 8 planets and 8 minutes to reach the light from the sun, on Earth, of course. The moon makes one revolution around the Earth in about 27 days and 8 hours. This period is almost the same as the time it takes to complete one rotation on its axis. As a result, the same side of the moon is always facing towards us. We don't see the other side of the moon always. Always we see only one side, this side. If your earth is moving, so the moon is also moving in the same direction. We always see the same size of the moon. We are not able to see the other side of the moon from the earth. Then, should we go to another planet to watch the other side of the moon? Think about it. Now, the moon's surface is made up of rocks and there is no soil on the moon. There are mountain peaks, plains, and craters on its surface, making it extremely rugged. It has rugging surface. As a result, the reflection of light from every part of the moon's surface is not uniform. You see, sometimes you see dark parts on the moon. This is why when we look at the moon, we can see some dark spots on its surface. Have a look here. Dark spots on the surface. Since the moon has no atmosphere, the days are very hot, whereas the nights are extremely cold. Scientists have sent many spacecrafts to the moon to gather more information about it. Can you name the latest one sent by India? I remember one spacecraft that was Chandrayaan. But the latest one which was sent by India, do you know what that is? Find it out. Come on, do some work. Now, this man, Neil Armstrong, was the first person to step on the moon. He landed on the moon on 20th July 1969, way back. I think some 51 years back. Then, who's this man? He is the second man to land on the moon. Can you find his name? Well, I think you should. Now, human-made satellites. Many human-made satellites have been sent into space for various purposes. These satellites are used to improve communication systems on the Earth or to conduct research and monitor planetary movements. Monitor means to keep a watch on planetary movements and send information to scientists on the Earth. The communications, what we do on mobile phones, it's possible from one part of the Earth to the other part of the Earth because of these satellites. Allahu Akbar. What is this now? These are asteroids. Asteroids are also known as planetoids, are very small celestial bodies similar to planets that revolve around the sun in their own elliptical orbits. They have their own orbit. Their orbits lie between the orbits of Mars and orbits of Jupiter. We have a complete asteroid belt that I shown you in the previous slides. Now, there are more than 40,000 asteroids, the largest of which is Ceres. And this Ceres is also believed to be a dwarf planet. These asteroids are believed to be the fragments of a former planet that exploded after its formation. Do you think these are also asteroids on your screen? Asteroids are comparatively bigger than these what you see on your screen. They are called as meteoroids. Meteoroids are small pieces of rocks that revolve around the sun. Some of these particles enter the Earth's atmosphere with great velocity, with great speed. Due to friction with the atmosphere, they get heated up and start glowing. Most meteors burn out, but some are quite large and fall on the Earth's surface, creating a hole or a crater. This is a Meteor Crater in Arizona, America. They are then called meteoroids. The Meteor Crater in Arizona in the United States of America has been formed by a large meteoroid. What are these? Meteorites? Nah, these are not meteoroids. These are comets. Comets are glowing celestial bodies that revolve around the sun in elongated orbits. They are mostly made up of dust, ice particles, and gases. When they approach the sun, the gases get heated up and they start glowing. For example, Halley's Comet. Do you know in how many years we on Earth are able to see the Halley's Comet? 50 years? 60 years? 70 years? Can you please Google and find this out? In how many years do we see the Halley's Comet passing from the Earth, or visible from the Earth, rather? When we talk about visibility, to see many objects, celestial objects in the night sky, we need something like this. What do we call this? Yes, it is a telescope. And who do you think this man is? It is projected to be Galileo. The first telescope was invented by Galileo Galilei of Italy. Telescopes show us what we cannot see with our naked eyes. The Hubble Space Telescope orbits the Earth, sending us close-up photographs of the planets and stars. But what is a Hubble Space Telescope? You'll find it. Do some research, do some Google. Now, do these checkpoints, please. It brings us to the end of the lesson, which was very interesting revision of all the existing matter in space, that is universe, including the solar system, stars, and galaxies. What is the name of our galaxy? The solar system consists of the sun at the center, the 8 planets and their satellites, asteroids, meteoroids, and comets. The sun is the largest member of the solar system, solar family. It has 8 planets revolving around it. The Earth is the 5th largest planet and 3rd from the distance from the sun. Satellites are of 2 types, natural and human-made. The moon is our natural satellite. Can you use the model of the solar system that you have made? And now let the Earth revolve around the sun. You will get to learn how parts of the Earth face the sun during its revolution, and this is why we experience day and night. Yes, we experience day and night because of the revolution of the Earth. And that is how we... Revolution? No, rotation. Because of rotation of the Earth on its own axis, we feel day and night. And because of revolution, we have change in seasons. Life on moon, is it possible? Well, if yes, why? If not, why not? If you have watched this video carefully, you would know the answer already. If not, go back, think about it, and answer this question again. Is life on moon possible? What is this? This is the sun. It's a huge ball of fire. Why do you think it's the huge ball of fire? Can you please justify your answer with the help of facts? Go back in this chapter, go back to the video, watch it again. And then, have you ever observed airplanes flying in the sky? Do you think they can fly up to the space beyond our atmosphere? Can they cross our atmosphere? Think about it, find it. Why can they not cross the atmosphere? Or what do you need in your aircraft, spacecraft, to cross the atmosphere or go into deep space? Now, many countries around the world are sending satellites to the space. What can be the reasons behind this? Why are we spending so much money on sending satellites or doing space missions, sky missions? Why are we doing it? And to do one project, one space mission, we require millions and millions of dollars, crores and crores of rupees. Why are we doing it? Think over it, find about it, discuss it with your parents, with your friends, call each other, make a group. Sky is wonderful, alhamdulillah. And have you ever seen a shooting star? Find out where does it come from and where does it disappear. Shooting star.